Have you ever had one of those days where you know what's in the box and you can't wait to open it, but you know what's in the box and you're kind of afraid to open it? Hey everybody, welcome back to Rattlecan Guitar Restorations. I am your host, James, or as they sometimes say, south of the border, Jaime. We have a friend of the channel who shoots me a message with some pictures as I'm up in the attic. I'm troubleshooting some bad wiring in my attic. This message comes over my phone and the question goes, hey, how much is it to fix this? And I look at the pictures. I'm like, you know, you're a friend of the channel, you might as well be family. It's for, you know, special deal just for you, parts and shipping. I don't do that very often. Well, because I'm not a business. So he says, well, I think I can get it for pretty cheap, and I've always wanted to have one of these, and so if I can get it, you know, is that something you could fit into your schedule? And again, you know, I'm like, you know, what are you gonna say to the guy? And again, he's a friend of the channel. He's might as well be family. I said, yeah, if you get this thing, just, you know, take a look at it, send it to me, and we'll see what we can do. Well, here it is. So let's open this up. Let's see. This would be great if we could just make a big, huge mess, wouldn't it? Drop the knife on my belly. Now, I have a really good idea of what's going to be in here. But having said that, I'm a little ambivalent as to what we're going to find. And if you have followed the channel for any period of time, you know we get train wrecks. Because honestly, when's the last time you saw me post a, hey, this came in and the guy wants me to change the strings on it? You don't get a lot of those. Alright, well, that's not too bad. Apparently we're going to flush every toilet in the house. Okay. Make sure we document how all this goes in, or comes out, so we can put it back in the same way. Okay, I don't know if this is how they come from the factory. Are you ready for this? This is Yeah, I know where this is going. So hang on to your butts for this. Can I do this in some semblance of... Alright, stand by. Okay. Let the fun begin. We have what appears to be a Martin 000 X1 AE, made in Mexico. Not a judgment call, just reading what the label says. Let's see, is this just pieces and paperwork? Because you may have noticed this guitar has an issue or two. This is just, that's just paperwork. Looks like we have some parts of the kerfing. And here is our saddle. Keep all that together. So instantly we know we've got a piezo pickup. This is suddenly an electric acoustic. And for those of you that have the eagle eyes, you may have noticed that there is a bit of a fit and finish problem. Let's get a little closer. So the chief complaint is the fact that the top isn't in a piece. It's in 1, 2, and I guess technically 3 pieces. Am I going to cry when I do this? Okay, well that's not bad. It's not what I thought it was going to be. This looks to be loosish here. You can see, watch the gap here. I mean, this is just... It looks like it's a really clean break. Satin top. The paperwork says solid spruce top, which immediately my mind goes, if you're telling me this is a solid spruce top, what you're also telling me is that the sides of it are probably not. So let's just look at this the way it is, and let's make notations for the official record, for the permanent record. Over here I have a crack running all the way from the lower bout here to the waist. This piece appears to be solidly connected. Although I have some roughness right there. Then the big break, I am separated. It's probably also worth noting I am so incredibly tired right now. There's 10 thou with some wiggle room. So then we're going to continue this up. We'll notice that there is some deflection of, is it the top or is it the side or a combination of the two? I can see, let's see, does my light work a little bit? A little bit. Does it work enough? I don't think so. The kerfing's intact here, and the kerfing's on this side. and the kerfing's intact over here. Up here in this upper bout here on the shoulder, I have a piece of the soundboard there, and then we are split all the way up to about right here. I don't feel anything. This is not a split. This is a coloration in the top, because you'll notice it's here on this side as well. This piece of wood was sawn right down the middle, and then they opened it up, so all you have is the wood that's gone from the kerf, from the saw blade, that it actually, the wood that it took out to separate these two. So you'll see this, you'll see the same features on nearly identical sides. There's a twig right there. I mean, it's nicely quarter sawn. You can see all these rays in it. So that piece of wood is a nicely cut piece of quarter sawn spruce. And then you just can't, this is probably where there's a stick growing out of the trunk, and you can see that just that thickness just didn't make it. So between the cutting process and getting it sanded, you lost that feature over on this side. I have a very, very similar feature in my guitar that I built, the Genesis guitar. As we continue, there is also a fracture right here. What is that? Well, time for new batteries, that's what that is. This is one piece. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is not 9 pieces, but it's just a singular piece. And it's, I can't quite call it a decal, but at the same time, oh hey, there you are. I can't call it a decal, but at the same time, I can't call it, you know, a piece of plastic that's been routed out and has been laid down in here. If we continue along the top, there's another little bobble right there. I don't want to call that a break, but there's definitely a section of something right there. I don't know if it's split along a grain line or what, but there's something right there. So let's continue on up. Man, you should see the bench that I've got for the new shop. You know how I'm all crammed in here? Not like that. Anyways, we're going to continue on up the neck. There is some it's just discoloration, it looks like, along here. There's zero wear anywhere on this. Tuners. There is what appears to be a plastic nut. I do have the 6 bridge pins. All right, let's flip her over. Take a look from the back side. Yeah, I hate to hear that. All right. So on the back side, I don't feel anything wrong with the back, and this is suspiciously to me I don't know what they're going to call it. I don't know. I haven't looked anything up about this model, so I'm sure there'll be a spot where I cut it out and then I come back and I show you how smart I was because you Googleized it. So as promised, here is the news that I have found out about these X series guitars. Retail price on this is apparently $7.79. That's the manufacturer's suggested retail price. It has a Sitka spruce top. It has a high pressure laminate sides and body of a mahogany pattern. It's not plywood. At least listening to the lady talk from Martin, it's not. It doesn't sound like it's plywood, and it feels like it has some sort of a plastic top coating on it. It has, as we saw, it has the traditional Martin X bracing of the non-scalloped, hence labor-saving design. This is a Corian nut. It says that these are plastic position indicators. These look highly likely to be simply silk screened on, or don't get hung up on the method. They're painted on. If they're not painted on, then they did the most amazing job of getting those seams filled in. I'm sorry, I'm just not seeing it. I could be wrong. It's happened. Let's see. They've got the Rich Light fingerboard and the bridge. It has a tusk saddle, and the neck is made from rust birch laminate. It's got a Fishman Sonotone pickup preamp combination. Yeah, that's the big discrepancy I've seen, is that the paperwork says that these are plastic, or at least the spec sheet that's currently up on the Martin website, that's what it says. Now these side markers look like they could very well be plastic, but this yeah, I'm calling foul on this. So, and it's supposed to have a black heel cap, but we don't. So, and strings, the Martin site calls for the MSP 4100, which are a 92/8 phosphor bronze mix, and 12s. That's what they want on it. So I'll get in contact with the owner and let him know that if he wants to go with Martin specs, that's what we'll need. But if he wants something else, then he can send me something else. I'll put whatever on it he wants to. So I wonder if this is going to be that high pressure laminate that they're talking about. I don't see anything wrong here on the back. The neck is this funky. Again, we'll insert the trade name for what it really is. For the neck, it says Martin Tuners on it. Now, here's the scary part. Let's look at it from the side. Yeah, we're popped out here. Can you hear that? Can you see it? No. Now you can see it. Yeah, you can see it really good there. So there's 10 thou, all the way up to there. And then we go all the way down to about there. It's filed. It has this, I don't know if I want to call it binding or not. There's a very shallow 45-degree angle here. This feels more rounded over. This feels like a 45-degree angle. So okay, we felt that. So now we're going to go over here to the other side. Yeah, I knew that was coming. And then we're feeling along here trying to find separated seams or crunched in wood or anything wood byproduct, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that is not too terrible. So this seems all intact on the back with the exception of this right here. I can see daylight from looking at it from here in this side. So now you're just going to have to be patient a second, because I don't know if you've noticed here. Let's turn it this way. It's a thin body guitar. It's not a you know, like a regular dreadnought sized guitar. So it may be very interesting getting the big giant hand of James in here. So what is it that's bouncing around in here? There it is. Okay, so this has got the Fishman electronics in it, and I'm going to take a wild guess that that is supposed to go right into here. As such, is it supposed to go right up on the edge? Again, we'll just have to look and see if it's supposed to go right up on the edge like this, so that you can then adjust your, well, your wheels. I'm going to guess it's a volume and a tone. Uke revision 1. This one's tone. This one's volume. Just trying to see if I've got anything weird going on here. Not that I could, it's not a parlor guitar, but it's skinny like a parlor guitar. That doesn't feel anything. Okay, that's for the wire loom to go up over, just to hold it up out of the way. Okay, so that's not too bad. Alright, now this is where it's going to get interesting. Let's see if perhaps, what time is it? I don't know what time it is. Does anybody really know what time it is? And more importantly, does anybody care? I'm going to have to find Mrs. Rattlecan's laptop, and we'll see if we can't look inside this with, oh, here we go. See if we can't look inside of it with our nifty new camera. Stand by. Alright, let's try out our new camera. I don't have any sort of adjustments on this camera to speak of, so who knows what we're going to see. There's our neck block. Let's go back this way, and you can see where all that kerfing is broken. You can see, yep, brace is separated from the top. That brace is, is that one loose or not? That one looks like it might be. Forgive my camera work on this. We just haven't figured out a good way to employ this yet. That brace is off as well, so that's those two. You can see the can see the camera hanger right there, or the wiring harness hanger right there. There's another popped off brace. That brace is actually split. That's not just come off, that one's actually split. Here, let's do this. Yep. Now the poor camera's fighting it now. Yeah, looks like both the X braces are off. That brace down there off as well. Let's reposition hands. Alright, now let's try it. Golly, is that... Okay, that one's a little loose there. There's where the X brace is popped off on both of those. Man, if you're getting seasick watching this, I'm sorry about that. So that looks like it's the... That looks like it's on the bridge plate is where that is reinforced at, or where that's branded at. That looks like we might have issues there. And you can see the light coming in. Alright, let's do this. You can see the light coming in from the rim. Here is the hole. You'll see that's my finger. You can see that all the way there. Let's get this light out of the way. So, alright, it's gonna be fun with fixing braces is the way it sounds like. And why am I seeing... What is that? Okay, that is light coming in from, that's the battery cover. Alright, that's what that is. The big takeaway that we have from our internal inspections are obviously these cracks. Obviously the side, this side, and then there's a seam that's popped over here. We noted that earlier. But I think the big thing to take away from it is that there's a lot of bracing that is... that has come undone on the inside, and that's going to be fun because braces are always they're always fun. So this is the guitar that we have, the Martin 000 X1AE, in the condition that it was received in. Obviously we'll have to do some fret work on that, but anyways, that's it. So we will at some point get to this, and then we'll get to working on it. So if you've got any input on this, if you have any suggestions or any insights on this, let me know. I'm always I'm always up to hear how people do things, how people would approach things, because sometimes I will look at something and I will go, well, this is obviously an A, B, and C operation. And then somebody goes, hey, you might want to think about this. And, I'm not so smart that I can't learn something. I'm James. This is RATTLECAN Guitar Restorations. Be sure to like, be sure to comment down below the sermon notes. Be sure to subscribe. Please subscribe. Please follow us on Facebook. You'll see these things go on in a more real time than you will just by following following the YouTube channel. And if you get a second, hang out and take a look over at the Patreon site and see if that's something you want to help support our channel with. You guys have a great weekend. Cheers. Hey, if you like this episode of RATTLECAN Guitar Restorations, you might want to check this video out as well. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, and if you'd like to help the channel grow, consider stepping over to our Patreon page and giving that a look. Y'all have a good weekend. Cheers.